Michael carries a sword of lightning. Uriel carries the fire of a dying star. They believe their burdens are heavy. They believe the physical weight of war is the greatest sacrifice. They are wrong. You can put down a sword, you can extinguish a fire, but you cannot unsee tomorrow. I am Gabriel, the messenger, the voice of the unseen. Before a city burns, I feel the heat of the ashes. Before a child weeps, I taste the salt of their tears. Time is not a straight line to me, it is an ocean, and I am always drowning in it. To deliver a prophecy of salvation is a joy, but today, the Father has handed me a message of extinction. There is a dimension above the heavens, known as the archive of the yet-to-be. It is not a library of books, but a limitless ocean of liquid mercury. Every drop is a second, every ripple is a choice. Gabriel stood at the center of this ocean, his massive wings, shimmering like spun glass in moonlight, folded tightly around him. He was bracing for the download. When the Creator speaks to Gabriel, it is not with a voice, it is with a transfer of absolute reality. The silver water began to churn. It rose around him, wrapping around his mind. And then, the vision hit him. It wasn't just visual, it was a total sensory assault. He saw the sky turn the color of bruised iron. He felt the exact temperature drop of the air. He heard the deafening roar of the earth cracking open, the oceans rising to swallow the mountains. He felt the terror of billions of souls crying out at once. It was the great deluge, the end of an age. Gabriel fell to his knees in the silver water. The divine data was burning his neural pathways. Angels do not sweat, but silver light bled from his pores as his mind stretched to contain the sheer volume of impending death. Must it be this way? Gabriel whispered to the empty, echoing void. His voice trembled, a rare sound in the celestial realms. I see their sins, Lord, but I also see their fear. They are so small, so fragile. The void did not answer with words. It answered with the undeniable weight of truth. The event was fixed. The timeline was locked. A golden scroll materialized in the air before him, glowing with a terrible, heavy light. Gabriel reached out with a trembling, armored hand and took it. It felt heavier than a mountain. He was not asked to fight the flood. He was asked to tell a single man to build a boat and let the rest of the world drown. He had to look humanity in the eyes and say, "Your time is over." Gabriel descended to earth. He did not arrive with a clap of thunder or a blaze of glory. He slipped into the mortal realm like a shadow of silver light, walking invisible among the bustling streets of an ancient, thriving metropolis. It was a beautiful afternoon. The sun was warm, casting golden hues over the sandstone buildings. Markets were full of merchants haggling over spices. Children were laughing, chasing stray dogs through the narrow alleys. Musicians played lutes in the town square. It was a picture of vibrant, chaotic life. But to Gabriel's eyes, it was already a graveyard. His omni-sight could not be turned off. When he looked at the laughing children, he didn't see their smiling faces. He saw them struggling for breath beneath 50 feet of freezing, dark water. When he looked at the sturdy stone houses, he saw them pulverized into mud and debris. He walked past a young mother buying bread for her family. As she brushed past his invisible form, Gabriel stopped. He saw her timeline. He saw her final moments, holding her baby above the rising tide, singing a lullaby as the water filled her lungs, trying to comfort the child until the very end. Gabriel reached out, his glowing silver fingers hovering just inches from the mother's cheek. He wanted to scream. He wanted to manifest in a pillar of blinding light and tell them all to run to the highest peaks. He wanted to grab Michael's sword and physically cut the storm clouds out of the sky. But a messenger cannot rewrite the message. To alter the timeline without command was to unravel the fabric of creation itself. He lowered his hand. The mother walked away, completely unaware that she had just brushed shoulders with the angel of prophecy. "I am sorry," Gabriel whispered, a tear of liquid light forming in his eye. "I am so sorry." He turned his back on the city of the dead who were still breathing and began the long walk toward the outskirts, toward a man named Noah. The burden of the scroll burned against his chest. The storm was coming, and Gabriel had to be the one to bring the clouds. The man named Noah lived at the edge of the desert, far from the rot of the city. He was a builder, a man with calloused hands and a quiet soul. He was cutting timber when the air around him suddenly changed. The wind stopped. The birds ceased their singing. The scent of ozone and crushed lilies filled the dry earth. Noah did not turn around immediately. Mortals rarely do when the divine approaches. Their instincts tell them to freeze, to hide from the blinding light that their eyes were not built to comprehend. Gabriel allowed his invisible shroud to drop. He did not show his full celestial geometry. That would have incinerated the mortal's mind. But even his dimmed form was terrifying. He stood 10 feet tall, glowing with a soft, pulsing silver luminescence. His 4 wings spanned the width of the clearing, casting shadows that seemed to hold their own starlight. Noah, son of Lamech. Gabriel's voice did not come from his lips. It echoed directly inside Noah's skull. Do not be afraid. Though I bring the shadow of the end, you have found grace in the eyes of the unseen. Noah fell to his face in the dust, trembling. He could not look at the angel. To look was to gaze into the sun. Gabriel knelt, his silver armor clinking softly, and placed a glowing hand on the back of Noah's head. I cannot explain the flood to you with words, mortal. Words are too slow. I must show you. Gabriel released a fraction of the prophecy scroll. The visions flooded Noah's mind. He saw the rain. He saw the mountains drowning. He saw the blueprint of an ark, perfect in its mathematics, burning itself into his memory. Noah screamed, not in pain, but from the sheer crushing weight of the truth. Years passed. To a mortal, it was a lifetime of ridicule and exhausting labor. To Gabriel, it was a single, agonizing breath. The ark was built, a massive wooden anomaly resting on dry, cracking earth. The people of the city laughed. They danced around the great ship, drinking wine and mocking the old man's madness. High above, standing on the edge of the stratosphere, Gabriel watched them. His silver eyes did not blink. He was waiting for the exact microscopic fraction of a second that the Creator had decreed. The laughter stopped. The sky, which had been perfectly blue for months, suddenly bruised. The clouds turned the color of old iron and violently slammed together. There was no lightning, no thunder. Only a terrifying, unnatural silence that swallowed the entire world. It is time, Gabriel whispered to the empty air. The hourglass is empty. And then it fell, a single heavy drop of water. It hit the dry dust of the marketplace. Then another, then 1,000, then 1,000,000,000. The sky did not just rain, it broke open. The deep springs of the earth ruptured. The screaming began. Gabriel did not look away. It was his duty to witness the execution of the prophecy. He hovered above the raging black oceans, listening to the cacophony of billions of souls extinguishing in the dark. He watched the mothers he had pitied. He watched the children he had mourned. The water rose, swallowing the highest peaks, until the earth was nothing but a silent, tumbling sphere of blue. Only the ark remained, a tiny wooden speck floating in an endless graveyard. Gabriel hovered above it, his wings drooping, his silver light dimmed by the overwhelming sorrow. Angels cannot go mad, but their hearts can fracture. In that moment, suspended above the drowned world, Gabriel made a choice. He closed the gates of his empathy. He locked away his sorrow behind walls of perfect, cold logic. To feel for them is to die 1,000 deaths, he spoke to the wind. I am the messenger. The message is all that matters. I will not weep again. When you picture Archangel Gabriel, you picture a beautiful, shining herald of good news. But look closely at the classical paintings. Look at his eyes. They are the eyes of a soldier who has seen the end of the world. He is the angel of prophecy, and he knows exactly how your story ends. He just isn't allowed to tell you.